Alright guys, so today we're going to dig into this magical box of goodies. That doesn't need to be in there. Probably not going to be changing brake pads, as long as they're still good. But I do know one thing. This will be on the F-150. So the rotors on it are shot. I mean, not rusted out, but they're warped really bad. They've been that way since we got it, and I just haven't thrown a set on it. But I got a good deal for 2 rotors for the front, and brake pads for the front, and brake pads for the rear. Whole set for 45 bucks. Brand new, can't beat it. So that's gonna be the thing to put on today. And if you guys stick around to the end, I have a surprise for the next project coming up. It's another truck. It's going to be getting 2-tone suspension and a couple other odds and ends. So stay tuned. I'm going to go start getting tools gathered up and get the jack ready and everything. Alright guys, so got the passenger side jacked up here. One thing I usually try to do anytime jacking up a vehicle, if I didn't just do it previously, you try to go over it, check for any play, wiggle the wheel, check ball joints, just try to check over things. Don't matter if it's mine or if it's somebody else's, I still like to look over it. Just try to keep up with that. For those who don't know, good place to grab here and here to wiggle it, and here and here. And then another good thing to do, usually use a bigger pry bar, go underneath it and pick up on it, check your ball joints. But this truck's actually still pretty tight, at least the passenger side is. I didn't feel like dragging out another jack. Sorry about that, school bus has gone past, but I didn't feel like dragging out another jack or the cribbing blocks, so we're just working on one side at a time. But I'll get these lug nuts taken off and get the wheel pulled off and start from there. So, got it all apart. Well, the wheel off of it. Brakes aren't apart. And yes, before anybody else comments, the lug nuts on this thing are shot. I'm waiting to put lug nuts on it whenever it finally gets wheels. So, I know they're shot. By the looks of things, the brakes on this, I don't know if you can see in there, they look pretty good, at least the outside one and the inside one. Both look pretty good. So we're gonna hold off on putting pads on it just yet. So what I usually do, if I can find it, I brought it up. There it is. I usually try to take a pry bar and compress the caliper. I usually try to compress it before I take the caliper off. You can compress it afterwards using a C-clamp. I just do it beforehand. Makes life a little easier. Alright guys, so once you get the caliper compressed, if you're not changing your pads like I am, you want to take the 2 lower, find the other one, the camera, the upper and lower caliper bolts off with the bracket and all. If you are changing your pads, you want to take this bolt and this bolt off first, pull this caliper out of your way, and then let's just get to your pads. Then if you have to change the rotor, you want to take that bracket off too. And let's see if it's going to break it loose. Those pads are actually pretty new, which I don't understand why the rotors are warped unless they were warped when they put them on, because I actually believe they said they put new brakes and rotors on when I bought this truck, and it's shook ever since I got it coming onto the brakes. So I don't know if they were warped from the day I got it, or the day they put them on, I mean, or what, but I know these rotors have shook ever since I got the thing, and they've gotten progressively worse. So they're coming off, and those slotted and drilled ones are going on. All right, guys, so I got the right side rotor out here, which I do notice the thickness on this rotor is a lot thinner than the thickness on the stock rotor. So I don't know if that's a slot and drilled thing. I have never personally had a set of slotted and drilled rotors, but they say they fit this truck, which they fit on it that way. I didn't check, see if they were the same height. If I can get it. They were the same height, so shouldn't have any clearance issues. It's just the caliper's gonna have to push further out to begin with, and then at the end it's going to have to push further once the pads wear down. Alright guys, once you get your rotor on, you start putting your caliper, well, if you have your changing pads and everything, put your caliper bracket on first, then put your pads in, and then put your caliper back on. If you just are changing the rotor, you can slap everything back on now, put the bolts back in. Time to put the wheel back on and swap to the air side. Alright guys, driver's side's done, and you'll see I had a bungee cord to hold the caliper up. I don't like letting them hang by the hose. We've done it before. It sometimes doesn't hurt it, but you can break the line right here, and it can also break here. It's just better tied up, zip ties, bungee cord, tie wire, coat hanger, whatever you got. I mean, just something to keep it from breaking that line, because you don't want to break it. And then you gotta change it from, you know, up here down, and sometimes, like, this truck's actually still kind of clean. They don't like coming apart, and then you end up breaking this line, and so on and so forth, and it's just a pain. But first wheel back on, and then off to the next step. Alright guys, so something pretty much as important as torquing them down, make sure you pump the brake up till it gets pretty hard, because if you don't, you ain't stopping the first time. Done that plenty of times. So I'm gonna go get the torque wrench, torque these wheels down. I know they're tight, but just to check. Alright guys, so I just took the truck for a test drive. There wasn't really anything you could see on video anyway, so I didn't bother videoing it. Of course, it's raining. I finished up just in time before it started raining. Initially, when you get into the brake, it's got a slight I want to say vibrate, then it goes away. I'm not sure if it's just initially breaking in the slotted and drilled rotors. It doesn't feel like it's warped. I'm just thinking maybe some cuts and everything that's in it. Like I said, I've never had a set of these rotors. The only reason I bought them is because I got a good deal on them and I knew the truck needed rotors. But it seems like it's definitely a lot better than what it was. I mean, it shook real bad. I mean, the steering wheel would shake. It barely even moves now. So that's definitely a lot better. I barely ever drive this truck. I actually drove it today because I actually had to go pick up what I'm going to show you guys here in a second. And my wife can't drive my truck because it's a stick shift. She can, but she can't. She's just not comfortable with it, and it was just easier to take her truck. She could drive it back, then I could drive the other thing back. But she'll drive it next week, or probably more this week, and we'll figure. She'll let me know if it's good, bad, whatever. So on to the next thing, and that'll be what our next project is. Alright guys, so here's the next project. 2020 Chevy Silverado Trail Boss. My aunt's truck. It's not mine. This is the custom. It's not a big fancy one. It's just, you know, you're closer to your base model. I mean, it does have the, I don't have the keys with me. You can't see it through a tinted window, but it's got the little bit bigger radio in it. It's not the base radio. So plans for this truck, I do have a pretty much a leveling kit. It's the Rough Country, I think it's 1.5 inch kit coming for it. Alright, sorry about that, my video kicked off, but it's a Rough Country leveling kit. It's, I think, like 1.5 inches or something like that. So the whole front suspension is going to come off this truck. Strut's going to get painted, the coil's going to get powder coated. Both control arms are going to get painted. Sway bar is going to come off. It's going to get powder coated. The bushing bracket, it's going to get powder coated. The links are going to get painted. Just try and do all the suspension at once. I don't know if there's a rear sway bar on this truck or not. I don't think this one has one. No, it does not. But I have new boots for these shocks. They're going to get painted. That's what I have ordered for now. I got to get certain things because I got to change the color of these. Yes, I have not announced the color of it. I will whenever it comes in. I'm going to change the color of these. I got to get new Trail Boss stickers. I got to find the inlays for the tailgate. And the inlays for the grill. I got to find caliper paint in the right color because I don't want to put like Brembo brakes on this thing because I don't think you can strip the stock calipers and rebuild them like you can those ones. So we're just going to find caliper paint and paint those. I mean, you might be able to strip them and rebuild them. That might be a thing. I'm not sure. Valve stem cap. This truck might actually get wheels and tires. I just got to see what the budget is and what all I can get done in a certain amount of time and within the budget. Plan is to put like a -12 offset 18-inch wheel on it with 33s, 1250s under it. Possible exhaust change or just a tip. Haven't decided. It is a 6-cylinder, that's the only downfall. So that's why the exhaust is kind of up in the air on it. So that's so far what's up with this truck. Alright guys, so that's going to do it for this video. We're going to start on that 2020 Trail Boss here soon. I still have more to do on my Ram. It's not pressing right now. I have more for the F-150. Like I said, they're not real pressing right now. Get that Trail Boss done. It's a little more pressing, and then I know I do have some parts coming up for Buddy's Honda and stuff. Get those done. Then maybe I'll do more of my trucks. But, yep, there's more to come. Thanks for watching.